Hi, I'm Edison, and I have a confession, Dad. I don't really have a confession, because I'm an honest person.
Me too. But I do have a confession, Dad. That one time you caught me on my knees with my classmate, I wasn't praying, even though he did cry for Jesus.
Because you bit it.
Just a little nibble. Everybody likes a little nibble. A little nibble's delightful. Little teeth never kill nobody. Hey, DC, what are you confessing? Will not be judged like this.
Hi, I'm DC, and Mama, I have a question. Mama, I just killed a man. I put a gun up to his head, pulled the trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life has just begun, and now I've gone and thrown it all away. Mama, ooh, I didn't mean to make you cry. Sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. Carry on, nothing seems to matter.
I thought we were saving the karaoke for the Patreon. Also, what does that actually mean? Did he actually... I'm sure Freddie Mercury did not kill anybody, but... Is it a metaphor? Is it a... What is it?
We'll never know.
Oh.
You never know, but if you listen to all the Queen's songs are very theatrical.
Welcome to Femmes React. We are here to watch My Stand-In Uncut.
Allegedly.
Episode 11. It is the penultimate episode. I feel like we should start saying penal. So, I just made that up.
Uncut penultimate. It's like beef jerky. Just. But anyway.
Okay, last episode, story progressed in the sense that we had Sassy Joe for a little bit, which was great. And then it was back to the Ming wants to prove his love to Joe, and that's enough for Joe to take Ming back storyline. And part of the journey to proving his love is Ming's defiance of his family and their conservative attitudes. And so it's kind of like, if you can prove your love to your family, that's enough to win Joe back, because Joe's like, I'm tired, I don't want to go through all this. Yeah, that was last episode. And I guess this episode's about how Tong is going to try and keep Ming within his grasps because he went on a really bad business venture or something that Ming told him not to do, and then he lost all his money, and Ming's like, well, I told you so, and now you want me to help you out. So something I've been thinking about throughout the week is that our conversations on like our perspectives on this show, and like I think I clarified for me this week that I've been coming at the show from a Ming needs to show redemption in a way for me to view the romance of Joe as sound and not realistic, but believable, that Joe would take someone back like that, and not as morally grey as possible. Like, that's what I need from the story for me to kind of go, okay, that makes sense. Okay, they've addressed the physical abusive elements, blah, blah, blah. But I understand that maybe you two are coming at from this is how I would feel if I was in Joe's position. What I wanted to talk about was, I would not know what to do in Joe's position. Like, I would not know how I would feel in that position. So I can't assess for me whether or not this romance, what I would do in that romance. But I think from an outsider and looking at this as a story, my stance has always been, this story needs to address the fantasy elements. If they're going to turn something bad into good, they need to address that specific element, which I don't think they've been doing. They've been kind of skipping over it and going, Ming's love is the obstacle, or Joe's believability of Ming's love. I don't know. I'm tired. So there's different ways to discuss it. I think we've been like discussing it, but like from different perspectives. I've been doing it from like a storyline perspective, not unnecessarily like, well, obviously it's not romantic in the sense that
it's not romantic.
It doesn't feel it doesn't feel romantic to me. It feels desperate. Like the obsession that Ming exhibits and the dependency that Joe exhibits without any sort of cerebral. Well, sometimes he is kind of like yes, this isn't good for me. Yes, I need a break, blah, blah, blah. But when it goes into like, how would this translate as romance? It's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes you have thoughts that make sense in your head. And then when you speak them, you're like,
I was along for the ride. Came along for the ride.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Of course. I didn't say I supported it. I just said I was along for the ride. No. Yeah, no, I can see that. I think for me, I mean, aside from the fact that I just don't need romance in this series, I've said that since day one. Like, there's, I don't need them together. I don't need a romance. I'm not here for romance. I'm here for the shenanigans and the chicanery and all the stuff that's happening. But yeah, like, if they're going to try and sell me this romance between Joe and Ming, it's one hell of a redemption arc that needs to be done. One hell of, and I feel like instead of showing me Ming like actively changing and growing, they're telling me Ming's changed. Okay, where? He's sad? That's not a change. That's guilt.
He's waited for Joe in the house for 2 years, cooking ramen every day.
Okay, that's great. I cook ramen every day for 2 years too. It doesn't mean that I'm a changed person. It means I'm broke. Like, okay. Like, I've not seen, and I think Edison mentioned it last episode, like, I haven't seen anything really, or the series address some of the absolutely heinous actions that Ming did in Joe's past life. Like, we kind of just glossed over the baseball bat, the handcuffs, the possessiveness, the number of times Joe was like, hey, even in this present life, where he's like, hey, I don't want to be with you. Leave me alone. And he's like, well, I want to be with you. So I'm going to make you love me.
That's it. And then he was like,
together.
You still have the sex contract. I'm going to put you in a movie because I feel like I deprived you of that.
Yeah. What? It's like, I'm not seeing the change that allegedly is happening. All I'm seeing is you showed me Ming be sad for a couple episodes and then showed me being exactly the same Ming. So like, if we were to try and sell me some sort of love story with him, I would need those issues to be addressed and not just like acknowledged, but like DC have said a number of times, actively worked on. Like, you have to try and make those self-improvements. You have to realize why I took these actions in the first place. What were these triggers that made me take these actions in the first place? How can I, if I'm presented in this situation again, how can I take an alternate route rather than divert straight to possession, violence, mine. How can I communicate with my partner? None of that's happening. Instead of that happening, the story's just like, hey, now we have this joint enemy in Tong. So let's go focus on us uniting forces to take down Tong versus like, let's change Ming and make him a better person for Joe. If I were even open and, receptive to the idea of a romance with Joe and Ming, which I am not, I would need those issues addressed. But since I'm not open to that because I don't want them together, because I have no desire to see them together, the fact that they're not really addressing those things doesn't bother me as much, because again, I'm not here to try and rationalize them being together, even though they're going to be together in the end. That is what it is. Like, it's the name of the game.
The thing that confuses me is like, how has Joe rationalized getting handcuffed and being hit over the head? Like, why does he not think that that could happen again if he wants to do something against Ming's wishes? Like, he assumes that Ming did this out of love for Tong, and that because Ming is in love with him now, that Ming can't hurt him or something. Like, that's the impression that I'm getting from the story and from Joe, which I don't know if it's being like assumed or stated. There's no like bringing that particular incident up going, that's why I'm not feeling you at the moment. It's always been, I have hesitations about you because you love Tom. It's never of that incident. So I'm just very confused about Joe, A, as a believable character in that aspect, but then B, also like why the writers decided to do it and then never dig into it. So
I just come at it from I go back to I hope you're watching all these reactions, go back to when that first happened. I checked out then about the relationship because, and you can even, This is what I always say, even when we did the one on my OnlyFriends, and I said, you need to research and go towards addiction. And what's addiction about? You can look up the domestic violence statistics. It's available online. You know, people are like, oh, no, I need men to go through therapy, because especially even with domestic violence assistance, you see that there's a correlation between emotional abuse and physical abuse. And then also you see that there is people who have gone through the justice system, and because of physical violence, they have a recidivism rate of like about as high as 63%. So if the cops are called on you beating your significant other, then it's more than likely it's going to happen again. And then also, guess what? Domestic violence in queer relationships happens at a higher rate than in straight relationships. And that's still too high. And that's usually because of being socially marginalized, especially along the lines of being queer. So like Joe being already cut off from everybody else, not having family or anything like that, it makes him, I'm not going to say a perfect victim, a good victim for that. So there's just so many numbers that I'm not even going to get into, not going to do it to trauma dump on this part of the reaction, but I implore people to go look up those domestic violence statistics and how some of the numbers are shocking. So that's why I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't need this. And if there is going to be a redemption for Ming, that's why I'm more like, hey, Joe, get away from this situation. Because unless Ming does something like go to therapy, do things, make an active thing about this, like Topher said, oh, he was sad. No, a lot of abusers are sad for what they do. And then they do it again. But they're sad. And they do it again. So that's a part of the cycle. And especially reading Thomas's book, the story itself is situated within being a Thai BL, and is situated in, I can see some of the logics of Thai Lecron in this, and the whole thing about domestic violence actually just being kind of like not even mentioned or anything like that, and love will cure all and all this other kind of stuff. At this point, and especially at this point, I'm just like, it is what it is. Like Topher said, I'm here for the shenanigans. They're going to get together. They're going to do their thing. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and fight against it. I've already said my piece over and over. It hasn't changed. I will say, unless they show me in episode 11 and 12 sitting down with a therapist and like, oh yeah, I have anger issues. Oh yeah, I have this. And you know, admitting that thing, nothing's gonna really change for me. He can go tell his dad, get Tong locked up and all this other kind of stuff, but you're still the problem.
Yeah. Hey Siri, who sings this song? I think about it every week and I just never remember.
Here's what I found.
No, that is.
Oh,
These
damn.
are not the Black Eyed Peas.
What did Siri... Was Siri... can you choose Siri's voice? I thought Siri was always...
Yes.
Oh. What kind of voice does your Siri
Siri,
have?
who sings this song? Australian man.
Okay, that's very suspicious.
This track is called I Watched Every Film Movie to Find the Best Track.
That most certainly is not this song, but okay. Sure, Siri. I'll find later. It used to be a British man, but then like a couple years ago, they updated the voices and I didn't like the voice that the British man had. So then it's been Australian ever since.
I see.
It is always somebody's birthday in these series.
Happy birthday.
Sometimes I wonder how much the hotness of a couple
Happy birthday
carries a show.
to
That is
you.
in my considerations.
What?
สุขสันต์วันเกิดนะครับแม่
นายขอบ
The hotness of a
คุณ
couple.
นะ
What?
ครับ
Yeah.
รวมถึง
Are you having second thoughts about this? Hey, Soul's
ขอบ
back.
คุณด้วยนะ
Oh, nice.
ซื้อเค้กมาให้แม่
Soul got the cake. That's so
ปล่อย
nice.
ทองร้านเนี้ยดาราสั่ง
Yes,
กันเยอะ
because he's a
ต้องจอง
good
ข้ามปีเลย
boy.
นะครับ
What's
Despite what that last episode tried to make you think, he's a good boy.
Watch Ming bring a cake like later in the day. Like Ming is always gonna one up Soul
ค
somehow.
รับ
ขอบใจมากนะ
It's probably gonna be a double decker, triple decker cake and stuff like that.
ตั้งแต่
Ming's like, I baked this myself.
พี่เขา
Sorry.
สนุกกันเยอะเลย
Somebody's gonna jump out of it.
ผมเองก็สนุกเหมือนกัน แล้วพี่อะ
I like that shirt Soul has on.
ก็
ผมรู้มันตลอดนะ
No
ว่าพี่
shit.
ชอบเขาอะตอนนี้พี่บอกผมว่าพี่จะไม่คืนดีกับเขาอะผมรู้ว่ายังไงพี่ก็
It's
ทำไม่
like,
ได้
I knew you were a liar. I knew you were lying. Oh, lying straight to my face. That's okay.
I didn't believe in you,
พี่ก็
Joe.
ไม่รู้เหมือนกันนะซอนไม่รู้ว่าทำไมพี่ถึง
Lies, fairy tales, and fallacies.
ก็คงเหมือนกับผมแหละที่ยังตัดใจจากพี่ไม่ได้ ทั้งที่รู้ว่า พี่ไม่ได้รู้สึกอะไรมากกว่า น้องคนหนึ่งเท่านั้นนะ
Give him a chance.
พี่ก็แค่เป็นห่วงเขาอะเขาหายไปเป็นอาทิตย์ละแล้วพี่ก็
Why
ติ
did
ด
you
ต่อ
try to
ไม่ได้
reach
เล
him?
ย
Thought you needed a break. Thought you were tired.
I'm tired.
มีอะไรก็มากับ
Hello.
ผมได้นะพี่ อย่าแบกไปคนเดียว ยังไงเราก็เป็นพี่น้องกันนะพี่
I mean, I've seen stepbrothers in enough BL series that make out, so like y'all can
Yeah.
feel free.
People are always like, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Like, I need a BL to prove that. For me to kind of embody and feel that. People get hung up on
Isn't
one
there-
person for so
กลับ
long.
ก่อนนะ
กลับไปดี
Isn't
นะ
there like a BL called Fish in the Sea?
I guess this is Soul kind of retreating and going, yep, that's my storyline.
It says fish in the sea. You know what else is in the sea? Junk. Plastic.
Didn't he pull this trick before? It's
ถ้าพี่จะมาถามว่าหมิงอยู่ไหนอะผมเองก็ไม่รู้หรอกนะครับ
เรื่องนั้น
I
พี่รู้
called you from his phone.
ตอนนี้หมิงโดนขังอยู่ที่บ้าน
oh, okay.
เพราะไปบอกพ่อว่าคบกับนายอยู่ เรื่องส่วนตัวของหมิงเนี่ย ที่บ้านก็พอจะรู้อยู่บ้างแหละแต่นี่เป็นครั้งแรกที่หมิงกล้าบอกกับพ่อตรง
Okay. Joe, you look so concerned.
นั่นแปลว่าที่พี่มาเนี่ย พี่จะมากล่อมให้ผมเลิกกับหมิงใช่ไหมครับ
ๆพี่ทำให้พวกนายสองคนน่ะไม่เจอกันอีกตลอดชีวิตเลยก็ได้
Can you, please?
แต่ถ้าทำแบบนั้น มีแต่หมิงจะเกลียดพี่
How would he know it's you
This
though?
life or the next
พี่รู้
life?
ว่านายเป็นคนมีเหตุผลนะ
ถ้าพี่มากล่อมให้ผมยอมได้ ผมว่าพี่ก็น่าจะกล่อมให้พ่อพี่ยอมได้เหมือนกันนะครับ ขอบคุณครับ
Also, can you get the fuck out of my house?
This is my house. Like, why am I leaving my place?
มีทนายคนหนึ่งเข้ามาหาแม่
Uh,
เขาเอาเอกสารนี้ให้
oh, what's going on?
A bill for because he went to go see whatchamacallit.
โจบอกแม่ว่า เขาให้ยืมเงินมาเพื่อใช้หนี้สัญญาการเช่าเป็นเด็กเก็บหนึ่ง ดูยังไงมันก็ไม่
Mama, don't worry about how I got the money, okay? Just
แม่ฟังโจก่อนนะครับ โจอธิบายได้นะครับ
โจ หยุดพูดเลย แม่ไม่ใช่คนโง่นะ แม่ไม่เข้าใจว่าทำไมลูกทำแบบนี้ ต่อให้แม่จะต้องตาย แม่ก็ไม่อยากให้ลูกของแม่หาเงินด้วยวิธีแบบนี้
Mama, I wasn't gonna let you
ค
die.
รับ แต่แม่ฟังที่โจอธิบายก่อนได้ไหมครับ แม่
แม่ไม่อยากอยู่บ้านนี้ แม่จะไม่อยู่ที่นี่อีกแล้ว เพราะว่ามันไม่ใช่ที่ของเรา แม่จะไปอยู่กับป้านวล
แม่ครับ
คืนเงินเขาครบเมื่อไหร่ ค่อยมาหาแม่
Hey, Mom, I need you to calm down.
แม่ครับ แม่
Like,
แม่แม่
I understand, but like, calm down, ma'am.
I did it for you though. Like,
Just like you were mortgaging the house and do anything to keep my corpse alive in the hospital, I was doing anything to keep you alive. So like, I need you to calm down, Mom.
right. And then you had the mob come to like
Yes.
mess you up. So we've both done like,
หมิงไม่ได้กินอะไรมาเป็นอาทิตย์แล้ว
oh my
เป็
God,
นห่วงแม่
Oh my god.
prisoner in a place with a chandelier.
เกมนี้นะหายใจอ่อนก่อนแล้วแพ้
หมิงหมิงเป็นไงบ้างอะ
He's gonna be okay. Okay, well,
โจ
he doesn't have lipstick on, but
มีคนเอาเรื่องสัญญาของเราไปบอกกับแม่พี่อะเขาอยากให้เราสองคนแยกกัน
Shit. So there was actual contract written up with this.
ยังไงเขาก็ไม่ยอม
Wow
หมิง
I thought there was just a verbal agreement.
I guess Ming is a business man.
ไม่
Through and
โจ
through.
ยังไงผมก็ไม่ยอมเลิกกับพี่
หมิง แต่ถ้าหมิงไม่มีพี่อะชีวิตหมิงจะดีขึ้นกว่านี้นะ
And vice versa.
Right?
แต่ว่าถ้าชีวิตหมิงไม่มีพี่อะหมิงก็ไม่รู้ว่าจะมีชีวิตไปเพื่ออะไร ใช่ พี่สัญญาว่าถ้าโจคนเดิมกลับมา พี่ช่วยพวกนายสองคนได้คบกัน
Oh, because you're a spiritual
เกี่ยวด้วย
man.
เนี่ย
This is the old Joe. Oh my god.
ไอ้ไม้
He broke in. I don't know.
ขอโทษครับ
Let you, sir. I will. Please lay some hands on me, please.
Oh my God. Paul is about like 78 years old. He got the dad strength. What is?
Oh. What?
ยืนทำอะไรอยู่ล่ะ เรียกรถพยาบาลสิหมิง
Well, you guys have had me locked in the house and I haven't eaten in a week, so I'm not doing great.
Why does that look like the grandpa from Up? Oh my gosh.
They still let him in there with him?
I was gonna say.
Wait a minute. Really? Wait a minute. Huh?
อยู่กันแค่นี้เลิกเล่นละครได้แล้วมั้ง
Told you Ocean's 11.
พี่โทรเช็คกับอาจารย์แล้วนะ ไม่เชื่อ
Do
ต้อง
you?
เชื่อเนี่ยดูเหมือนว่าพี่เนี่ย
Feels a little easy, but
สัญญา
okay.
สินะ ขอบใจอะแค่พี่ช่วยผมเรื่องนั้นน่ะ ผมก็รอดแล้ว เฮ้ย
Master is a scholarly source of citations, so, you know.
ผม
I guess.
The master was like, I'm not telling Ming anything.
ต้องให้นาย
It's
ช่วย
such
ดู
cryptic
คอนเนคชั่น
clues,
ฉัน
but
เย
you
อะ
can know the truth.
ๆเหนื่อยหน่อยนะ
So they gonna fuck or not? Like,
Right?
Kissed. Oh, yay. All right. There's my side couple, which I.
Why can I only think of Mike Wazowski when I see the name Mike? Are there no other Mikes I can think of?
กินเองก็ได้
so like, do his parents not know what room he's staying in, or do they just not care that he's in the hospital, or?
Right. Was Ming's plan to get in the hospital so he has some time with Joe? Because
คำพูดแบบนี้มา
that
จาก
could have
ไหน
been
นะ
easily circumvented.
ขี้แล้ว
ร้ายนะเนี่ยเดี๋ยวนี้เนี่ย
จะป้อนได้ยังไง
Or do you just not care anymore that Joe's here? I just.
ขอบใจนะ
Like me? For what?
ที่เอาตัวปกป้อง
Protecting him from what?
Himself?
ผมสิครับต้องขอโทษอะ
For what?
ที่มีส่วนทำให้
I mean, you didn't make him anyway.
จริง ๆ แล้ว แม่เป็นคนส่ง
So we need to throw you out the window is what I'm hearing.
I hate it when people apologize who don't need to apologize.
I'm sorry you feel that way, DC.
นะครับ ผมเข้าใจแล้ว
That wasn't even an apology. That was.
แต่ว่า ก่อนหน้านี้แม่ผมป่วยหนักมากเลยครับ ถ้าเกิดว่าหน้าที่การงานของผมดีขึ้นเนี่ย ผมจะทยอยใช้หนี้ทั้งหมดให้เร็วที่สุดเลยครับ
What the fuck? You traded sex and companionship for money. You don't need to return the money. You can't return the sex.
Truth. That was the payment. It was the agreement. Like it wasn't
ที่สำคัญที่สุด
it wasn't a borrowing this money. That was the payment for my services.
ถ้าลูกเลือกแล้ว แม่ก็จะไม่ยุ่ง
This
Now he has to get the sex back. He has to have sex
Reverse
with the dad. Give all that sex back.
รู้ไหมว่าพี่ต้องทำผิดกฎหมายตั้งกี่ข้อเนี่ย
oh, God. Okay.
Well, first of all, shit in this family is not exactly illegal.
ที่เหลือนายต้องจัดการเอง
What? Not enough?
Is this blackmail? Are we just gonna blackmail dad? For love?
Why is he here?
ผมว่าพี่เป็นห่วงตัวเองเหอะ
Like, why is he here and not Ming's sister?
นี่เป็นหลักฐาน
She just
ว่าพี่ตรงแอบเอาชื่อบริษัทพ่อไประดมทุน
she just like Judy went upstairs one day.
หมิงไปเอามาจากไหนอะ
Never came down.
ไม่จริงนะครับพ่อ
ผมว่านักธุรกิจระดับพ่อ
นายจะไม่สงสารพี่ก็ได้ แต่นายควรจะสงสารหลานนายบ้างนะ
Oh,
Oh my God. That's a twist.
หมิง
Fuck talking nice. I don't care if she's pregnant.
We can take the baby and get rid of Tom.
Like we can. Yes, we can literally raise this baby. We are rich. We don't need him.
เรื่องนี้ไม่เกี่ยวกับลูกหนู
right?
Oh, damn.
She came
okay.
down.
พวกเรากำลัง
Unlike Judy, she comes down
ก็
from
คุยกันอีกทำไมต้องเอาลูกไปเกี่ยวด้วยอะ
she came down.
หมิง อยากทำอะไรก็ทำไปเลยนะ
Nice.
ไม่ต้องสนพี่กับลูก
Okay.
เจ
Thank you for being present.
ส่วนพี่อะคือคนที่กำลังจะเอาครอบครัวเมย์
She knows this
They have
now. Damn.
แต่แกต้องออกจากบ้านรีบไปตัวเปล่า
Oh.
แล้วก็จะกลับมาเช่นเนี่ยหน้าอีก
คุณคะ
ธุรกิจผมหาทุนมาบริหารเอง พ่อมีสิทธิ์อะไรมาลิบเงินผมไปอะ
ทั้งคอนเน็กชันทั้งความรู้ที่แกมี แกได้ไปชั้นทั้งนั้นน่ะว่าไง เงินทั้งหมดในชีวิตของแกของผู้ชายคนหนึ่งฉันว่า แกเลือกไม่ยากนะ
Or
Tong is just like I ain't got nothing.
I can still out you and just date my man and still have my company and my money. Like it's really just your business that's at stake here, Dad.
All right. Okay. You can negotiate further, but it's okay.
มิง คุณคะ
ต่อไปนี้เลยค่ะ จิมก็ไม่ต้องมาดูแลผมแล้วนะ
Yeah, I won't be able to afford you.
ทำไมครับ คุณหมิงไปที่ไหน
I had no money to pay you.
Go get hired by Mac.
ขอบใจนะ
Go run
ผมคงไม่มี
Monsters
เงิน
Inc.
จ้างคุณอีกแล้ว
together.
อะแต่ผมรู้นะว่าใครมีอะพี่ไมค์เขาหาเลขาอยู่นานแล้ว แต่ยังไม่เจอใครถูกใจสักทีอะเลขาจิมคิดว่าถ้าไปทำงานให้พี่ผมเนี่ยเลขาจิมจะถูกใจ
Ooh, okay.
I mean, this would have been great like 3 episodes ago, but yeah.
Right.
ผมนัดสัมภาษณ์มาให้แล้ว
When did you make an interview?
มึงจะต้องไปรอ
Right.
ที่แล้วนะ
Like that ramen's not gonna be a choice. It's gonna be a necessity. So like, are you sure?
แล้วพี่แน่ใจไหมล่ะถ้าก้าวออกไปเนี่ยเท่ากับเปิดศึกกับบ้านผมแล้วนะ
Are we?
จะเจออะไรอีกก็ไม่รู้นะ
I thought they were gonna leave
I
us
thought
alone.
we
I thought
I
that
thought
was
we
the deal.
speaking I thought we speaking Thai, not French. We. You started the war with the family, not me.
We gonna talk about that baseball bat at any point? Are we?
No. Why talk about it? That was past life stuff.
So you're gonna bring up that past life stuff every time we get in an argument?
Right. Just because I killed you once. You know what they say? Kill me once, shame on you.
พี่โจเราได้อยู่ด้วยกันจริงๆแล้วนะ
And someone gets shot.
I wish they would show the new Joe a bit more, because that would be more romantic to me. That he loves Joe's soul beyond the surface.
He can see his soul. He can see.
Yeah, we're looking at his soul.
Oh my god! This is
Unlike Soul, who cannot see his soul.
เรื่องนึงที่พี่ต้องจัดการนะ
we gotta make up with
Really?
mom.
He really does love him because he's wearing those underwears and ugly.
Love is blind.
ก็มีเรื่องน้องชาย
Yes,
มาก่อน
because you're
พี่นี่
a manipulative
เห็นว่า
asshole.
หมิงสำคัญกว่าพี่ แต่เมย์ก็เห็นว่าลูกของเราอะสำคัญกว่าที่พี่จะเอาไปเป็นเครื่องมือต่อรองกับคนอื่นน่ะ
เก็บกระเป๋า
Your house.
บ้านพี่ซะ
พี่ตรงทำไมพี่พูดอย่างงี้
Why
อะ
are you so hanging on to him? May, come on.
เมย์มีเรื่องหนึ่งที่สงสัยมาตลอดนะ ถ้าเมย์เป็นคนไม่มีเงินน่ะ
No,
พี่ยังจะอยากทำงานกับเมย์ปะ
No. That's
not even remotely.
no. She doesn't even.
Got you have more value than this.
เมย์ก็รู้คำตอบ
I guess he just doesn't want to get her involved. Oh no.
Well, good. It's about damn time. Oh.
Oh, it's Tom. What's up? Why are you here?
Because he.
ช่วยพี่หน่อย
Why would I do that?
ช่วยไปคุยกับหมิงให้หน่อย
No.
ให้หมิง
Talk to Ming about Ming has no money.
ไม่งั้นพวกเจ้านี่
Ming has no money.
พี่ตรง พี่ก็รู้ดีครับว่าตอน
Ming is broke.
Right.
คนเป็นพ่อลูกกันอ่ะ ขอโทษกันนิดหน่อยเขาก็ใจอ่อนแล้ว ช่วยพี่หน่อยนะโจ โจเป็นคนเดียวที่หมิงยอมฟังอ่ะ
Maybe you shouldn't have divorced his sister and you still have money.
แล้วต่อยพี่พูดความจริงเนี่ยยังไงผมก็ไม่ช่วย
โจ ช่วยพี่หน่อยนะ
Lord, they're gonna come take him because he looks like Joe from
พี่
behind.
อยากเห็นหน้าลูกอยู่อ่ะ พี่ไม่อยากให้ลูกพี่เป็นเด็กกำพร้า
He's got a
ช่วย
mother.
พี่หน่อยนะมันมา
No. Don't be good. Oh God.
ต่างคนต่างไป
Joe, don't be good.
No.
Joe,
Girl,
don't
just
be good.
hand him over. This
Don't
ain't
do
none of
it.
my business.
What the hell?
I mean, I knew he was going to, but I'm like, girl. Yes, Joe voluntarily took Ming's jacket. I know, or Tong's jacket. I know he did. That's Lord.
We don't need this last minute plotline. Like that's so funny and unnecessary. Oops, it's Joe.
I'm shocked.
Shocked, I said. Shocked.
So what are they gonna do with Joe though?
Shocked.
นี่คงเป็นเจ้าหนี้พี่ตรงเหรอครับ
ใช่ แต่มึงต้องตายแทนมันละ
Why? I didn't do anything. What the fuck?
เก็บมัน
Like, why would this be?
What?
Okay.
Why? What? Me?
I mean, you're not gonna die for him instead. You're gonna die for him in addition, because like we still got to get Tong. Like,
Right.
Why are we killing Joe again? What about Joe 3? Joe 3 and his mama?
พี่ตรงติดเงินคุณอยู่เท่าไหร่
ไอ้สแตนด์อินเนี่ยมันไม่ธรรมดาละ
Gonna extort him. What?
300 million. Like, what the fuck?
ผมคิดกลมๆที่500 ล้านพอ
we'll just say that interest.
นี่มันฉวยโอกาสนี่หว่าไอ้ขี้โกง
He's just looking at Tom. He's like,
ขอเป็นเงินสดก่อนเที่ยง
fuck it. Kill the stand in and I'll give you Tom.
โทรหาตำรวจ มึงจะไม่เห็นหน้ามันอีก
You won't know if I call the police if the police get there before. Like,
โทรหาพ่อคุณดูสิ
ถ้าพ่อไม่ยอมช่วย เดี๋ยวผมจัดการเอง
Like risk your life and charge in.
how? So if you had a way to handle it, why'd we come here in the first place? Okay, sure, whatever. I don't care.
I think he's gonna play like chicken with his life. Like, Dad, do you really want to see me get in danger?
He's gonna go hire like the Expendables or something like that and go extract Joe. What does that say?
This probably says it's a warning. Is it a warning?
หมิง
อ้าว คุณหนู มาเองเลย
No, they only let me bring one person up. What you mean? If I knew that was an option.
Like, these are what? These are the people. What? What kind of operation do you run here?
10 ล้านบาท เป็นค่าแลกตัวเขากับผม
Oh, damn.
พอแล้ว ถ้าอยากได้เงินที่เหลือ คุณต้องใช้ผม แม่ผมให้คุณได้มากกว่า500 ล้านอีก
ทำไมนายถึงต้องทำขนาดนี้ เพื่อไอ้เนี่ยคนเดียว
Don't worry about it. Do you accept the deal or not?
เพราะเขาคือคนสำคัญของผม ที่ไม่ว่าใครก็มาแทนไม่ได้
You ain't felt the way he sneezed on my dick, girl. You don't know what he can do.
Girl, sure you're gonna die again. Alright, who's gonna take a bullet for her? I don't know. Wait.
Joe's gonna take a bullet.
Because Joe's the hero.
Joe hasn't died enough in this fucking series.
Where's the purple?
See, the way I see it, he was closer to the gunman than he was to Ming. I would have just tackled the fucking gunman, so the gunman can shoot Ming.
I cannot.
Rather than waste the time to run over and get Ming. But the amount of time it took him to run and get in front of the bullets, he could have run and just tackled the guy.
Yeah.
And then he wouldn't have shot.
Yeah, actually, Topher's correct.
Oh, damn. This is the Shadow Realm.
Oh, I get to go through. I have a whole building full of Joes that I can go into.
Oh, hey, what? Hey, Saul.
Why is everybody just like, he's still messing with you? Now we're doing this again.
It's like, we told him. we tried to tell him.
ไม่ตาย
Speaking something that's not a riddle for once. My God.
เจ้ากลับมาอยู่ระหว่างความเป็นกับความตายอีกครั้ง
อีกครั้ง
ครั้งก่อน ข้างบนเป็นคนเลือกให้เจ้า
nice.
ถึงได้กลับมาเจอเคราะห์กรรมซ้ำๆแต่วันนี้เจ้าจะได้เป็นคนเลือกเองแล้ว
Do we all get this choice?
ถ้าอยากทรมานอยู่ในวังวนเดิม
Loop?
ก็กลับเข้าร่าง
What loop?
แต่ถ้าอยากหลุดพ้นจากวงจรนี้ ก็เดินออกประตูนั่นไป
So being with Ming is torture? Like, canonically?
Yes. Yes.
There's the door. Walk out the door. Go now, go. Walk out the door.
But if he walks out the door, he won't survive.
ไม่เหนื่อยอีกเหรอ
Right?
Look, you told me I can make my choice. Let me make my choice.
กับชีวิตที่ต้องคอยเป็นตัวแทนให้กับใครต่อใคร
Aren't you tired?
Maybe bring up the baseball bat and the handcuffs. Maybe bring that flash up. Yes.
There you go.
ไม่ได้ไปงานทุกคนจะเดือดร้อนนะหมิง
ตราบใดที่ผมยังอยู่ที่เนี่ย พี่จะไม่ได้ไปไหนทั้งนั้น
Yes, bring these up. Thank you, Shaman. Thank you. He's still gonna choose to be with Ming, or with Ming, but thank you for trying.
Oh, okay.
He ain't at the door yet.
Yeah, ain't at the door.
Like, if he goes through the door, does old Joe get his body back? Like, did old Joe get this decision, or did he just get yeeted?
Right, where's
to the
old
afterlife?
Old Joe was like, you know what? I'm out.
Joe, think of your mom. Think of your new mom. You still can live for her.
She left him.
You could still leave Ming for your mom. Okay, whatever. Okay.
What?
It's a cliffhanger. Okay.
Isn't.
He left.
I mean, it's a cliffhanger I don't care about.
I mean, that makes the most sense that he leaves, but
like, did he?
He's
I can very much see we get to episode 12. He opened the door, but then didn't walk through. It's like, you know what? Actually, let me close this bitch and then go back out. Because it's not like it's a vortex sucking him through the other side. We just saw him open the damn door. That don't mean shit.
That's true.
I believe it when I believe it.
Okay, episode 11 of My Stand-In. I mean, it's entertaining at least. Like, I was thoroughly intrigued by where the plot was going. And all of it seemed to kind of like one up each previous thing about like testing Ming and Joe's love for each other. It was like, here are the stakes. Like, how much are you willing to sacrifice? And first it was like money and prestige and your social status and riches. And then it gradually became, you know, are you willing to trade your life for love? And it was very dramatic, and it's kind of like, okay, well, you've gone to those heights and those lengths, and we can see that you two love each other very dearly, and I can understand the romance in sacrifice and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, as a part of it felt kind of like, okay, this is a very structured, manufactured situation where you're put in these circumstances. Like, I would have been fine with Ming giving up all the riches and then them doing their thing and going on their way. But then we had to get the whole Tong situation involved. Yeah, but then Ming being like, hey, take me as a hostage, you can extort money from my parents, it's a better deal. I guess just shows the lengths that he's willing to go to, so good for him. Side couple was cute for whatever happened with them.
Nothing.
My interpretation of the mom is that it makes sense from her perspective. Like, she's understandably upset. She thinks that someone is taking advantage of their circumstances to get their way with Joe, and she doesn't want to feel like her life is a burden on her son. Like, I assume a parent would not want to feel like someone going through potential acts that they don't want to do for money just for her. Like, I think she doesn't want that guilt. That's like my hope that somehow they talk it through next episode.
Well, he's dead. Allegedly.
Well, allegedly, so we don't know. Like, I don't want to leave that kind of up in the air and all that. So
got shot. He's dead.
We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what's gonna happen. He got shot. He's on life support. He was on life support before, so I don't know if Joe has to prove his love to the heavens or whatever. I'm not sure what's going on there. I am, like, obviously we're surprised that he chose to leave.
Allegedly.
I mean, he made the choice to leave initially, so like, I think I was surprised because like they were talking about it as a cycle and as a loop when none of that was specifically alluded to. Like obviously there's troubles that they have to face as a couple, and that's normal that you have to go through difficulties and stuff, and life isn't all just like a smooth sailing, and you know, but like these stakes are quite high. But like, if without the Tong situation, they could have potentially just led a very peaceful life. For me, I'm surprised that Joe thought he saw the writing on the wall. Why now in limbo does all that come back to you? And I thought he made the conscious decision to stick with Ming and all of that stuff. He had that talk with Sol. He's like, I know I'm foolish, but this is what I want. So when things got better for him, in the sense that Ming did sacrifice everything for him, oh, is it because he realized that all the love Ming has for him puts Ming in precarious danger, and he wants Ming to be at peace? Or like, is this like a whole like, oh, I don't want to be a burden on Ming? I don't know. Either way, I appreciate the character that Joe is, and I am interested to see how it ends. It feels a bit constructed. It feels like, oh, hey, here's a cliffhanger, but like, you know, that will keep me entertained for next week.
Thailand. The number 8. Just keep that number in mind. 8. 8's a good length. You can do a lot with 8. 8's fantastic. I've had me some good 8s, some good 7s, some good 6s, some good 8s. Oh, you can do a lot with 8. I've said this about far too many Thai series. They are committed to 12 episodes for whatever godforsaken reason. They run out of shit at like episode 7, episode 8, and then they have to fill with just nonsense. So it's like the first half of the series might seem like it's starting with so much promise and it's doing all this stuff, and then they run out of story to tell. And then it's just like, well, I guess we'll just make it up as we go. So this episode, so much of it felt like I'm just sitting here like writing the next scene in my head. I'm like, okay, they're going to do this. He's going to switch places with Tom. He's like, I know the camera's trying to make it this big surprise, like, oh yeah, that's Joe there, and Ming's picking up Joe, and Tong's kidnapped. I'm like, no, he's switching places with Tong. They're gonna show us a little flashback where he's like, hey, give me your jacket. And they're like I can actively write what is happening now. Like all of what I talked about in the earlier episodes where it's like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like that's why I'm here. I'm intrigued. It's suspenseful. Blah blah blah. All that shit's gone because they ran out a good story to tell, and now they're just like formulaically writing stuff as it's happening. I'm like, okay, great, I guess. Tong, I don't know why he went to see Joe. Like, why he thought Joe was the person that was gonna magically want to help him and get him money. I mean, no, he helped him because the danger was right in front of his face. It's like, okay, well, I have to be a good guy. But like, I don't know why he thought Joe was going to be the person to convince Ming to go apologize to his dad to get him money so that he can bail him out of this. Like, I don't know why Ming or Tong thought that was the alternative, or at least that's what he came here saying. Tong's been shown to be a very conniving, planning, calculating person all along. So he probably knew. He probably came up here like, you know what? He looked kind of like me. They might take him instead. You know, it's fine. Whatever. This whole shaman thing. Okay, I guess. Sure. So he's the all-seeing shaman who's been pretty much irrelevant for all this entire series. Anytime we visit him, he gives us no useful information. And now he's actually the keeper of the afterlife. And he's like, hey, the heavens decided last time that you got to have another chance, but now you get to decide. Why does he get to decide? Why does he get this decision and no one else gets this? What's so special about him? Like, why can't he just die? Why does he get this special decision that nobody else gets? He's like, hey, aren't you tired? Do you want to, be stuck in this loop? And I think like what Essen was kind of alluding to, it's like, I don't think that it's been established enough that karmically there is this cycle, that is this loop that he's stuck in. He's stuck in this karmic loop with them. Like, obviously I can see that, yes, hanging out with Tong and Ming is a bad idea and you should probably stop doing this shit. But I don't think that it's been established that the universe is throwing you into this universal loop that you're just going to keep repeating the cycle. I'm curious that even like if he chose to like stay alive and go into, like, how would that cycle repeat? Like where the pieces fell right now. Like, okay, Ming gave up his life to be with him, and okay, so they're like, I don't know what other obstacles are going to come into the picture that's going to cause Ming and Tong to be the death of Joe again.
So like it's insinuated that they'll, like, what's that movie? Final Destination, have like continuous issues no matter what. And so
that's how I was at least taking the guy saying, hey, yep, you stuck in this loop on and on and on and on and on. I'm like, to me, that sounds like, okay, well.
That sounds like life.
No, I don't know.
But like, also, like, why can't you just say Joe's back? Like, he's dead or alive. Like, why can't you just say he's back? Like,
what? Why can't you just tell me Joe's back? Like why we gotta go through this whole song and dance and mystics and what?
Is it because I'm not asking the right question? Like, are you programmed to give vague answers? Like,
I don't know. Mama, Joe or Ming's mama, turn around way too quickly. Mike just up and believe the fact that this is new Joe way too quickly. Like, it all just far too convenient. Like, oh yeah, well, I guess I called up the shaman, and yeah, I guess I got no choice but to believe this.
Right, but
you can believe whatever the fuck you want to believe.
Mike's been going under spiritual training. I think they both have. If they both call him master, like, they both go spiritual training, so they know of this supernatural stuff more. Like, that's of their culture or faith or whatever they're doing.
Maybe, I suppose, I guess, maybe. But I feel like there still just wasn't enough given, at least not enough shown of us being given to Mike for Mike to just up and believe that, yeah, this is Joe. Since I don't know that he ever actually met old Joe. So he really has no reason to believe, like, whether or not the master told him this is old Joe or Ming told him this is old Joe, like, he never met old Joe. So, like, there's really no proving to him that this is old Joe. You know, like, complete stranger one way or the other. But yeah, Mama just kind of coming around like, yep, I'm fine now. You just feed him. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. When it comes to Joe's mama and her whole flying off the handle, I can understand to a certain extent. Like, yes, obviously, I don't think she wants to be a burden. I don't think she wants to be the cause of stress or, to think that her son is out here being someone else's paramour, someone else's Haley Williams. I don't think that's what she wants. But like the way that she kind of like ended that whole conversation, like, I'm going to your aunt's house. You can find me once you've paid back all the money. And I'm like, what? Like, that to me doesn't strike me as I'm a concerned parent who feels like I'm burdened and like you did this and I'm so ashamed. Like, that felt, I don't know, like why would he need to pay back this money in order to make amends with you, in order to see you, when you literally did the same thing to save him? Like, I feel like there's no reason that she shouldn't understand why he did this. There should be absolutely no reason, because she did this. She didn't become someone's paramour, but she did the exact same thing a year ago, however long Joe's, been in the coma. Like, she did the exact same thing. So it shouldn't be, I feel like her big flaming angry response is just lacking a lot of like pot, kettle, black. Like, you did this. Like, why? How do you not understand where I'm coming from? And why are you so... I don't like how it ended. Like, if it was just her being upset that he was this paramour and doing the money, this, that, the other, that's fine. But it's the whole, I'm going to your aunt's house. You can come, you're allowed to come find me once you've paid back. He doesn't have to pay back the money. He didn't borrow, although I guess she was led to believe that he borrowed this money, which again, he did not borrow money. He earned money. Sex work is valid work.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree. We don't know if it's the stigma of the sex work that she's feeling, but I just assumed she was angry, and that response was an anger response of the moment.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I'm like, Mama, again, you did the same shit. I understand this may not be the ideal thing. This may not be what you want, but anger response is one thing, but you had all this time that you were just sitting there waiting for him, just thinking and fuming that you could have realized that, hey, I kind of did the same thing. He did something because he loved me. I did not care for her response. I did not care for her. It felt out of character from what we've seen of her thus far. Although maybe it's in line with her initial character before, Joe initially passed and, tried to off himself, because she was mentioned to be homophobic, and maybe she had other character traits that have been, diluted ever since Joe came out of the coma, and she's just been this sweet, understanding, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it was a character trait all along that we just didn't see. I don't know. It just felt out of character with everything that they've shown me of her so far. Oh, we already talked about Joe just stupidly jumping in front of the bullet instead of tackling the gunman. Words cannot explain how stupid that choice is, but I guess in the moment, like, adrenaline kicks in, you're not thinking clearly, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, still, gunman is right here. Ming, all the way over here. Woo! And now Ming's not shot. Maybe fight for supremacy, grab the gun, something. But okay. Now he's dead again. Horse. I see the horse.
Like I said, a lot of the BL, Thai BL is like, uniquely in the song, but also it bases a lot of its stuff from lacrons or Thai soap operas. So like Thai soap operas, like telenovelas, like Passion Periplo, or if you want to go like, this is like even Western soap operas like Passion and Days of Our Lives and As the World's Turned. So try to give like analysis of why the story is going. We can watch a season of Passion or another world as the world turns, a guiding light and stuff like that, and then try to make sense. No, it's the soap opera.
Is that the evil
type
puppet
thing? Passions, just like the little with the magical part of it, and you have the little guy, and everything's happened, and then magic and.
Yeah, but I feel like at least with the soap operas or the telenovelas, whatnot, like they know that is what they're doing, so they are leaning into. I feel like this series is not leaning heavily enough into that for me to give it agency. Like, yeah, okay, you're like, Concerned with Love, like that shit leaned heavily into the dramatics. I'm like, yes, fine, give me all the drama, the stares. I'm like, yes, fine, because they know what they're doing and they're leaning into that. This, I feel like they're not leaning heavily enough into it for me to be like, yeah, this is kind of okay, I see what you're doing. I'm just kind of like, I don't know what you're doing. Why are you doing this?
Oh no, but I still think they all are within that framework, even though they don't lean heavily into it, they still are within that framework and they still working with that. And it's still, especially with them getting 12 episodes, they're like, okay, well, this is what we normally do with this, and this is how we guide it to here, and we have to be fanciful with our exits or whatever. It gets formulaic, and I agree with you. It's like, I agree with you, and I've said it before. Sometimes these series are just too long. That's why I love J series. They're like 6 episodes. That's it. 5 episodes. I'm like, yes, give me a short series. And leave me wanting more instead of having me like, what is this? So yeah, it just got really into that. So I'm not even letting do all that. I see where, even though that the master, whatever his name is, was saying, Joe, do you want to go around in this cycle again? Like I said before with the whole DD, but it's you did this last time, you ended up dead. You did again, now where you're going. Like the ending is still the same. You're in this corridor. And I know that, they were going to end up together or whatever. And you just open up the door and white light spills over. But it's a saying, like, you know what? You're doing this shit again? Like Becky again? I really don't have anything to add to anybody, because it's just like, I was invited to dinner. I came over to the house. This is what's served up on my plate. I'm just kind of like, all right, I like the first course. I like the second course. I'm gonna skip dessert. We'll see how it ends. We'll see how it's gonna draw together. And I think the whole thing with Joe, he was just the paragon of right, the paragon of innocence, the paragon of truth, justice, and the Thai way. He's like Superman without the powers. And of course he was going to do the right thing. And that's why Tom went to him, because he always used him because he was like, no matter what it was like, oh, okay, I can use Joe, basically, because he's a good person. It was episode 11.
It was episode 11 that happened. Was there an episode 11 curse? The whole episode, maybe? I don't know. But, there was an episode that happened.
I can't really pull anything out of my ass to I can't. It happened.
I think the writers did that enough.
The side couple will do something.
There was a whole side couple that got introduced randomly.
You know what? All right. So I love side couples. It's not even giving me like cow introduced side couple. It's not even like, oh, they're together. It's like you have to like do mental gymnastics in order to say that this is a side couple. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay,
I ship them.
Right.
They're a couple in my head. Like after the show is over, I'm saying that they are together, but the show's not telling me any of that.
At this point, they're much of a ship as the Master and Watt are, because they just happen to be in the same show.
I mean, I'd ship that. I'm fine with it.
I mean, ultimately, if there is a message of like, I think the most interesting bit is probably the heavens and the karmic bit. If they're trying to do something there, like Joe got a second chance because he was such a good person, or because there was a higher force that felt pity on him. If they're gonna say like their relation is gonna be tough, and that's their fate and destiny, but then for some reason, if love has a supernatural property that if they work together and communicate, they can overcome hardship that life throws at them. Maybe that's nice, knowing that their karmic energy together, or their fate together, or their something about them being together attracts negative events in their life. But despite that, they'll still fight. Like, that's cool. That's a lovely enhancement of showing how good they'll be together.
Side note, but I disagree with that. And relationships are work, but it's not supposed to be tough and get you killed. Like that is not like, because that has a tendency to spill into, they beat on you and stuff like that. But relationships are different, they're difficult and stuff like that, and stay in abusive relationships. No, relationships are work, but there is a point of diminishing returns, and you're not supposed to be in an abusive relationship because they do that. Oh, relationships are work, but I get emotional abuse, so you just stay with them and just be.
No, yeah, I agree with that. I'm just
I even going down that, no.
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, in a supernatural way. If there was like if we're going into the supernatural element or the spiritual element, and these deaths, we're not going to assume like Joe keeps dying, but
he does.
He does. Like, literally did die twice.
Yes, but we're hoping things get better. That's what we're hoping for. Like, we're hoping there's going to be no deaths from now on. It's just
two's enough.
And for the next episode, no one's gonna die.
Joe hasn't even died. He's in limbo. He's just in a coma. He's tea leaves. Anyways,
tea leaves. I also feel, because like I'm just ruminating more on the episode because I ain't talked about Daddy at all. I feel like we didn't barter nearly enough in that situation. Like, we gave Daddy, said, hey, I got all of this dirt and I'm gonna release this to the press. So either you can choose to save your company you've been working for your entire life, or you can choose to keep me and my boyfriend apart. It's like, okay, fine. I'll let you guys date. But you gotta leave my house. I never want to see you again. You don't get no money, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I still have this folder. Like, I feel like we gave up a little too easy on this leverage we have on him. Like, I feel like old Ming would not hesitate to take what he felt was his or do whatever. Like, yeah, you're my daddy. I don't fucking care. I'm out this, that, the other, so I can get my man. So it's like, it's just like, I feel like we didn't fight hard enough. We just kind of like, you know what, fine. I'll give up everything for this man. That's fine. I'm like, yeah, sure, fine. I guess we're trying to prove to the audience he's changed again. Show me, don't tell me. But I'm just like, I feel like that's one instance we could have just like fought a little bit harder. Like, hey, daddy, actually, no, I'm gonna keep my money and my job, my company, and my boyfriend, and you're gonna leave us alone if this is really that important to you. I feel like there wasn't enough pushback. He just kind of like accepted it and like, okay, that's fine.
Because love makes you weak and soft. And that's what it does. Love, it makes you weak, soft.
My interpretation is that they were playing chicken with each other. Like, love chicken. Like, how much can I threaten you or bluff this threat and weigh that against what you're willing to go through? It's something I've done with my parents, so that's why I'm seeing not on the same scale.
Wow.
You threatened to leave your business and all of your inheritance? For a man you killed?
Right?
Okay, those were dark times. But like, I'm just saying, like, it's
there you go. All right. Well, that's it.
It's a test of bonds. It's like, if you really cared about my thoughts, my feelings, if you really loved me, etc. Ming, in my eyes, was not going to do that unless he was really, really pushed. And so I think the compromise is that he doesn't have to hurt his dad, and he's willing to take on loss of assets because that's the trade that he emotionally is willing to do. So they're kind of going, how much of our relationship are you willing to destroy over this issue that we don't agree about, or about this man that you're seeing? So I don't know if it's a bit more of a cultural context, but I see the struggle from both sides in that there is a topic that they're both very stubborn about. They both still are family, but I don't think they're willing to scorch earth the whole situation just to get their way.
Okay, I'll accept that. I'm just a vengeful bitch, so I'm like, I'll scorch the earth. That's fine. Assuming I was put in that situation to begin with. My parents aren't millionaires, and they are very accepting and loving, so we're quite opposite, Ming and I. Although I do feel like Daddy, or maybe it happened off camera, but I feel like the whole Tong situation was never addressed with Daddy. And the money and all the stuff we're blackmailing, like Tong's like, yeah, no, we're getting a divorce. Go away. Yeah, I don't like you anymore. But like, I feel like as far as Daddy was concerned, and the whole using the businesses and using, you know, all this money, that I feel like Daddy never really addressed the whole Tong situation. I'm like, I would like that. I also would have loved Tong to just actually get kidnapped and beaten. I feel like that was a wasted opportunity, honestly, for the sake of unnecessary drama, but okay.
I like the cut of your jib. I like that right there.
Look, there's nothing quite as satisfying as watching a series or movie where there's a character who has been set up this entire time to get their comeuppance, and then they get their comeuppance. Like, it's a sense of satisfaction I can't explain. So, like, Tong, of anyone in the series, deserves his comeuppance. But for whatever reason, the 11th hour, like, you know what? We're going to make him selfless and make him seem sad. So, like, he's divorcing his wife for the safety of her baby and her and this, that, the other. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. This is not enough. I still require him to get kidnapped and beaten by these gangsters because he fucked around and he was about to find out. But now he fucked around and Joe had to find out again.
Okay, thanks for watching My Stand episode 11. Appreciate your support on the Patreon, where you can watch the full versions. Please let us know your comments, and we'll see you for the finale next week. Yes, bye-bye.
Bye.